So today we are starting a new series on camps and followers. So now we will come to know that for what type of motions we are going to use these camps and followers. So in most of the mechanisms, we have input as one motion and output as another type of motion, right? For instance, input is reciprocating, even output also is reciprocating or translational. Okay, and input is rotary, output is translational. Input is rotary, output also rotary. So these type of motions we will be finding, and many more motions. Okay, an example for input rotary and output reciprocating is your compressor, right? So air compressor, you have a compressor, right? So in compressor, what happens? You actually give input to the crank and output you are getting at the cylinder, right? Means air is being compressed. But if you take the IC engine, input is given as reciprocating and output is given as crank's rotation, right? So input is given here to the cylinder where the gases and all are given, and then output you are getting at the crank as rotary. So all these different types of mechanisms, rotary to rotary, you have Whitworth quick return mechanism, and yeah, coupling rod of your locomotive, fine. And reciprocating, if you see, the elliptical trammel is an example. Elliptical trammel, right? So where you have one slider here, another slider here. So based on different motions. So rotary, you even have one more example. There are two gears. For instance, there are two gears, right? So this is rotary to rotary. But here, why did cams come into picture? Fine. So that is the very big question. So cams came into picture because if you see most of the mechanisms, for example, if you take gears, in gears, you can convert a rotary motion to rotary motion, right? Pinion and gear, for example, the smaller one is called pinion and the larger one is called gear. For it is rotating clockwise, this will rotate anti-clockwise. Here what will happen is you will get a constant velocity ratio, constant angular velocity ratio. It means for a certain speed of this smaller gear, only certain gear of speed of the larger gear will take. For just example, N1, if N1 is equal to 200 RPM, so N2 might be, actually it should be less, right? Yeah, it will be less. For example, it is 50 RPM. It means it will make only 50 rotations. The larger gear will make only 50 rotations for 200 rotations of the smaller gear. It means it is constant. Fine, the speed is constant, it is not varying. Now if you take a gear and a rack and pinion, fine. So this is rack means which is having a linear motion, and pinion means which is a smaller gear which is having a rotary motion. Fine. About the center, if the gear is rotating, what is happening? The rack is actually sliding front and back. If it is rotating clockwise, it will move front. If it is rotating anti-clockwise, it will move sorry, if it is rotating clockwise, this rack will move back. If it is rotating anti-clockwise, it means this gear will push it in this direction, right? So this is the motion which you will get in gears, but the speed is fixed. It means for certain rotation of gear, you will get certain motion of rack. But when it comes to cams followers, the very good miss, some few times we have requirements like this. I want the requirement. Here the requirement is different. Requirement in our mechanism is that I need variable output speed for constant input speed. You take this all earlier cases, if you take, see, you are applying a constant angular velocity to the crank and you are getting a means proper velocity, means it's not variable velocity of the this thing. If it is inline slider crank mechanism, so it will go with the same speed forward and it will come with the same speed backward, right? So similarly here gears also clockwise, anti-clockwise, right? So these motions also are fixed. For example, this is having 100 RPM, so the larger gear may have just 80 RPM, fine, and it is fixed. The ratio is fixed, like N1 by N2 is fixed, 100 by 80, it is fixed, fine. And here also for certain velocity of slider, you'll have a fixed velocity of this slider. Okay, it's not variable. If input is constant, output is variable. So that is the requirement. For example, that is the example which we are taking. Okay, even here if you see, this is the pinion is input and this gear is output. So you're getting constant speed ratio. So if you take n1 by n2, so it will be what, 200 by 50. So 4 is the ratio. Fine. So it means it is constant. N1 by N2 is constant. But the requirement in my mechanism is that I need variable output. Output is not a fixed value. Output is not a fixed value or a constant value. Output is varying. Output speed also is varying. But input speed is constant. It means if I fix a motor to input, then it's constant. And sometimes we need even requirement is, I'm giving another requirement with which the above cases are difficult to satisfy. So other requirement is to generate intermittent motion. So this is another requirement, to generate intermittent motion. Intermittent motion means at a particular time the part is stationary, at very next instant or after some time the part needs some motion. I'll just show in the coming slide with a diagram. We will explain. Fine. So I think this diagram most of you must have already seen. Just give me a moment to draw it and show it to you. So let's take this. This is a cylinder. I hope now everyone knows what I'm talking about. So let's give some gap in the cylinder. Fine. So that we can fit a valve. Okay. So 1 second, guys. Let me draw it properly. So we have a valve. So this is our valve, and you have a rod. Please don't mind about the diagram. I'm not such a good artist. Yes. Okay, done. And then we have something like this. So this is a bell crank lever which is attached here. And then there is a revolute here. And then over here you have a spring and connected to the valve. Let's say this is the cylinder. And here you'll have some type of washers. Okay, on top you'll have some type of washers. And then this is now connected to let's say here. And here you have a pivot. Here you have a pivot. Pivot means a revolute joint. And then imagine that you have your flat thing over here, something like that. And then we have okay, fine. So we'll take a larger circle. And then Yes. And this is the center of rotation. Fine. Now, if you look at this part, what is this actually? This is your cam and follower arrangement. Okay, so this is used to control the valve timing of a cylinder. Fine, of your cylinder, you have valve timing, right? You must have studied it in thermal engineering. So this is the slider in the cylinder. Fine, and this slider has to reciprocate and it has to suck the air fuel mixture, and then it has to compress the air fuel mixture, and then it has to give the exhaust. Fine, there is a power stroke, all these things are there, right? So now how will the valve be opened? So you can check over here. For most of the part, if you see about this center, it is going to rotate, right? The cam, this is called cam. The cam is going to rotate. Now while it is rotating from here to here, just check out this. While the cam is rotating from here to here, it's actually a circle, right? So will it have any effect on the follower? This is called follower. Will it have any effect on the follower? No, because see the distance from here to here, here to here, here to here, it's the radius of the circle, it is same. So nothing is going to happen. So this follower will be flat. Fine, nothing is going to happen. Just carefully listen to each and every word I am talking. Fine. So nothing is going to happen to the follower. But once the position of the follower, now imagine that it's going to rotate like this. Now assume that this point which is here has rotated upwards, right? Only after it rotates it will come, right? So now the new position of the cam will be like this, right? Fine, it has moved up. I have drawn it very large, right? Okay, for your visibility I am drawing it large. Fine. So now what is going to happen? There is no chance for the follower. The follower has to move upwards. The follower has to move upwards, right? So now when the follower is moving upwards, what is happening? When the follower is moving upwards, this point is going up, right? Little bit more up it will go. So if it is going up, it is pushing this link, which is connecting this valve and follower, right? The middle link. It is pushing the link about the pivot. It is pushing it downwards, right? In a straight line. It will be pushing it downwards. So once it is pushing it downwards, what is happening? This spring is being compressed downwards by pushing it down, right? Yes, this entire system is going down and the valve is being opened, right? So now up to whenever this cam is there in the top position, valve will be open. Again, once the cam touches this portion, see slowly it is closing. This is slowly rising. That's why there is an inclination. This is the top position and slowly reducing. Fine, it means slowly it is closing. And then from here to here again, it is closed position. That's why it is constant. So based on how much time you want the valve to be open, how much time you want the valve to be closed, you are going to design this cam. Okay, the cam surface will decide how much time do you want to keep the valve open and how much time you want to keep the valve closed. So you study how much time, right? Based on angles in the in your in your thermodynamics, you study based on the angles, right? Valve timing diagram. Fine, it is related to this part. So now if we come into picture, now how many possibilities are there? This is called intermittent motion. Intermittent motion means while the follower is in contact with this portion of the cam, okay, it does not have any motion. It does not have any motion because it is going to have the same radius. So no lifting or no falling of the cam. Fine. You just imagine you have a disc. You just imagine that you have a disc and it is rotating about a center and you have placed some follower like this to be guided in this, right? Guided means it is guiding only in the vertical. It can have only vertical motion. So now I am rotating the disc. Will this follower move up and down? No, because there is no unevenness, there is no rising, there is no dropping of the disc, right? There is the shape is actually perfect and radius is constant all over. You can see that this radius is equal to this radius is equal to this radius is equal to this is equal to this and this. So whenever, even if this point is rotated and coming over here, it is having the same radius. So there is no lift or drop. But here, if you check, these radiuses are same. So whenever it is in this portion, it is the follower is not going to lift or drop. But once it goes here, the radius is increasing. So this, once it comes to this point, it has to be at a certain height, right? And once this comes to this height, it is the topmost point. And then here, if it comes, then it is going to drop slowly and then come to the original position where it is meant to be stationary for. So from here to here, it will be completely stationary. Fine. So this is about the motion of the cam clearly. And now we are going to check the different possibilities of cams and followers. We have few possibilities of cams and followers. Okay, we'll check it in the next slide. So the first possibility of cams and followers, number one. Fine. So let's go once again to the previous slide. So here, what is cam doing? So this is cam, this is follower. Fine. Why is it called follower? Because it is following, right? Cam is given as the input. Some rotating is given as the input. At the center, we give a rotating input, and then follower will have to reciprocate it. So I can say that here, cam has rotary motion and follower has translationary motion, and the motion is intermittent. Motion is intermittent. But when you look at gears, for example, gears, I know that we have not started gears, but I think that everyone has come across what gears are, right? So this is one gear, this is another gear. Can you have intermittent motion in gears? In gears, we will have continuous motion transmission, right? So intermittent motion here is not possible. We have continuous motion happening, and the velocity also is constant. Fine, but here, as I am rotating cam from here to here, there is no velocity of the follower. Whereas cam is having constant angular velocity, follower is just having zero velocity because there is no change in position from here to here, right? Immediately from here to here, again, there is change in position and there is change in velocity, right? There may be change in acceleration also. So all these things we are going to check further. We have different types of motions. So this is also different from gears. When this is also like in comparison to gears, if you check, you have continuous motion in gears, but in cams, you can even have intermittent motion. You can even have continuous motion if you want. Okay, you can design in such a way the cams that you can have continuous motion also. Fine. So there is no limitation. You can have number of ways in which you can design cams and followers. So now the first model of our cams and followers I'm going to discuss. So we see that, try to visualize each and everything being discussed. Okay, try to visualize each and everything. So this is our one part which is on the base, fine, the base is fixed, it is on the base, and then we have another link which you usually call as follower. Fine, which is in contact with the cam, and it is guided to move only in a vertical direction. There is no other chance. So now imagine this is your cam, and for instance, I am moving the cam towards your left. So what will happen automatically? Due to the inclination, let's say this is A, this is B, and this is C, and this is D. Due to the inclination, the follower will have to move upwards, right? The follower will have to move upwards, and from C to D, it is having a constant, right? For instance, it is at C, the follower is at C. From C to D, will it have any motion up or down? No, because the height from the ground is constant. Here, the height is varying. Due to the inclination, the follower also will move upwards. And from A to B, will there be any motion? For example, I'm moving the cam in this other direction. What will happen? It will go to B, right? It means it will drop. From here to here, it will drop down. And from B to A, will it have any motion? No. the follower will be idle. So this is also an intermittent motion. Even if I give constant velocity to the cam, but still I'll have intermittent motion of the follower. Fine. So these type of cams are called wedge cams. Wedge cams. Okay, this is cam and that is follower. And I will draw another type of, let's see the another type of follower here. The motion is translatory to translatory. Fine. Translatory cam, translatory follower. And we'll see the next type now. The next type also, I will take a similar wedge cam. So this is your cam. Fine. And then you have a follower. Let's say that the follower is something like this. So let's say that the follower, which we are going to study right now, looks something like this. Fine. And this is the pivot about which it's going to rotate. So this follower, this is the follower. Now what will happen if you are moving the cam towards the left? Automatically, let's just imagine a new position over here. For example, the cam has come to this position. Fine. Where, right? Yeah, let's say that this is a new position of your cam after moving towards the left position. Now what will happen to the follower? Will it be there itself? No, it will also assume a new position where the new position will be something like this, right? It has to oscillate, right? It will be in contact and it will oscillate. And when it comes again to the right side, what will happen? When it comes again to the right side, automatically it will come down. So this is oscillating type of follower. And when it is coming from A to B, there is no motion. B to C, it is oscillating. C to D, again no motion because it is flat. Whenever it is in flat contact, there is no motion. So here you have, this is also called a wedge cam. And it is oscillating follower. Fine. The motion of follower is oscillating, and here follower will have translatory motion, cam will have translatory motion, wedge cam will have translatory motion, and follower will have oscillatory motion. So oscillatory motion is represented in this manner. Let me take some other color to show the oscillatory nature. So here the follower will oscillate like this. In two directions we saw the oscillation. Fine. Rotation is only shown in one direction. Oscillation is shown in two directions. It means the arrow will be on the both the sides. So this is the second type. So two types I have discussed right now. The first type, translatory to translatory, and second type, translatory to oscillatory. Both are wedge cams. Wedge cams. So now we will discuss about the third possibility, and the third possibility is, let's draw it. Oh, it's too huge, I think. It's okay. I hope you'll understand what I'm trying to do. I have drawn it very huge. Okay, let's correct it. Let's correct it. Okay, this is one type. Okay, maximum I tried to erase it. Fine. So, and you even have a center, right? Center of rotation. So center of rotation will be the center of the circle which you have drawn basically. And then we even have a follower which should follow it, right? So let me draw a follower for you people. Let's say that this is our follower. Yes. And then it has a base. Fine, it is in contact over there. And then you have a guide. Guide should also be given, right? So let's say that this is our guide along which it will only translate. So here what you can notice, so as the cam comes to the new position, as the cam will assume the new position, fine, as the cam will assume the new position, by the time you will have this circle actually, yeah, new position. So the follower has to also move to the new position. It means the follower will go up, right? If it is rotating anti-clockwise, the follower will have to move upwards. And here follower is having a translatory motion or a reciprocating motion, you can call it. And here cam, actually it's not going to go to the down position. That's why here we have given this type of curvature. We are only saying that the cam is going to oscillate here. It's not going to make complete rotations. Okay, this is one model. It means cam will only oscillate till here. It will come and again it will go back. Okay, so it will turn anti-clockwise till here. Fine, and then it will start turning clockwise, so that again the cam assumes the new position. Fine. So this is one type of this is one type of cam and follower system, and we have another type of cam and follower system similar to this. Fine, previous case also we have seen, right? So again we have to, I'll just make a rough sketch. Okay, so this is your cam, and then we have our follower. Our follower now in this case is oscillatory type of follower. Okay, oscillatory type of follower. So here we have the cam actually rotating, oscillating. Cam also is oscillating, and follower is also oscillating. Cam is not making complete rotation. If you look at this cam's contour over here, the curvature, you see that it is going to jump if it is going to rotate. So I'm only restricting the rotation till here. After this, again, it has to start. For example, it is going anti-clockwise right now. It will go anti-clockwise only till here. This is the maximum position. After this, again, it has to go clockwise so that it will only stay on this surface. Okay, it can come till here also. Fine. So here also, the oscillatory is going to be produced. So this is the fourth variety. And now coming to the fifth variety. So in the fifth variety, we have a cam which is going to rotate for 360 degrees. So this is the best way actually, and this is the most used. The fifth model and sixth model which we are going to discuss, fifth model mostly is used in most of the cases in mechanisms, also in machines and all. Okay, so this is your cam. Fine. And now we have a follower which is something like this. Fine. And let's erase the extra part. Okay. Yes, is it okay? Yeah, fine. So this is your cam with a fixed center about which the cam is going to rotate. And then you have a follower, which might be a reciprocating, or it might be even a two cases, right? We are discussing from the beginning. One is reciprocating and another is our oscillatory type. So in these two motions, you have the possibility of cam. So this is your cam and it has to be guided, right? Let's say that it is guided here. Fine. It is guided in this slot so that motion is only possible in this slot. So this is another type of cam and follower arrangement. And then we come to the sixth type of cam and follower arrangement, which is similar to this, but it has oscillatory, right? So let me try to draw it in a rough manner. No. Okay, we'll use the circle. Fine. And I hope that you're understanding the motion about what I'm talking, how the motion of the follower will be based on the shape of the cam. A little bit of rotating. Okay, fine. So this is another type of cam. This is the center, and we have to take off this portion, right? Yes. And this portion properly will round off. Okay, fine. So now we are going to have the follower also, right? So here the follower is your oscillating follower, and the follower is like this. Okay, sorry. Yes. So this is about which the follower will oscillate. So this is oscillating and this is rotating. Here, this is rotating and this is reciprocating or translating. So this lower type of all, third one, fourth one, fifth one, and sixth one. So these are called disc or radial cams. So all these are cams, okay? CAM, 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 and cam. So all these are cams. So these are called disc or radial cams. Fine. And now we have a final type of cams, which I'll be discussing. So it is the seventh type of arrangement which we can have is our cylindrical arrangement. Cylindrical arrangement. So the follower is in the shape of a cylinder. Fine. It's amazing, right? In so many ways we are able to actually make the cam, right? For different type of motions, we have different models of cams, right? So this is our cylinder. Fine. And here you just imagine this part which is having a groove. Just imagine that it has a groove over here on the cylinder surface itself. You are having a groove. A groove is cut. Okay, there is a path. Groove means there is a path on the cylinder which has a specific shape. Okay, and in this path I am going to fit something. You just check it out right now. So in this path I am going to fit something like this. Just try to imagine each and everything what you are seeing on the screen. Okay, just imagine that you have a part, okay, which is in contact over here. Fine. And it is like this. Okay. Okay, I'll make a good sketch out of it. Just imagine that this is the part. Okay, simple enough. One second. Yes. Imagine this is the part. And here, these both are a single unit, right? These both are a single unit. Fine. Just imagine this. And of course, here you'll have a proper surface which can be included here. In this groove, this is present. And then you have a path over here. Only in this path, you can have a motion of the slider. Okay. See, this is like a slider, which you're looking at the top. It's like a slider. The red one is like a slider now. And this is fixed. Now just imagine as the cylinder rotates about this surface, about this axis, as the cylinder rotates about the axis, what will happen? Just imagine that this point over here after rotation has come here. It means what? See, it is here, right? Yes, after rotation, this groove is here, right? Yes, it will travel in this circular path only, right? That time what will happen? This red part has to move towards this direction, right? And it has to sit in this. It means as the cam is rotating, this red part link or the follower is sliding. Fine. As the cam is rotating, the red link is actually sliding. I hope the point is clear. I'll show it in red ink. So the red link will have a sliding motion. Yes, sliding motion. And this is having a rotary motion, right? What? The cam is having a rotary motion. Circular rotary motion. So you can see that what is actually happening is over here. This one, the cylinder, as it is rotating, the follower is reciprocating. Let's note it down. So cylinder over here, this is cylinder, and it's called cylindrical cam. Fine. And this is the follower. You can see that in this arrangement, the follower is in the plane that contains the axis of the cam. Fine. So see, axis of the cam is this one. See, this one. Yes. And the motion of the follower is here. So both are in the same axis. Whereas in previous cases, if you check it out, see, axis of the cam is perpendicular to the board. You just check it, the fifth one. But the motion is happening in the, where is the motion happening? The motion is happening actually in some other plane, in the plane of the screen, right? So this is the motion happening in the plane of the screen. Whereas the axis is perpendicular to the motion. Here also you can check. This axis is perpendicular. Okay, this oscillation axis is perpendicular. And here in the third diagram, the axis of the cam is perpendicular to the screen, means rotation, but the axis, the motion is happening in the motion is happening in the plane of screen, right? So both are perpendicular to each other. But here you see, both are actually in the same plane. The axis of the cam as well as the motion of the follower, both are in the same plane. Now we'll come to the final part, the eighth variety, which you can see. This is the eighth variety which you can see over here. And that is, you have the cylindrical cam. Fine. So this is your cylindrical cam. This is the last model in the varieties of different cams and followers, which we can see based on the arrangements. Okay, different arrangements. This is our cylinder, and then we have, fine. Here also you have similar type of groove. For example, this is the groove. This is the groove. The groove will be even on the back side. Fine. And now you have your follower, right? You need a follower. Yes. So this is your follower. This is your follower. Fine. Let's give it a proper base so that it can sit inside. So I'll say that this is your follower. And the follower is actually pinned here. Okay, there is a pin joint. Let's use another color for clarity. Yeah, it is pin joint. Fine. Now what will happen? This is the axis of rotation of the cam, and the follower, see, just imagine that the point, which is the lower point, which is here. Once this is rotating, just imagine that it came to this point, right? When it rotates, automatically this will come up, right? When it came up, it means this groove is here. As this groove is here, what will happen to the follower? The follower has to come to that point, right? So the follower is here. Now, it means what's happening to the follower? The follower is oscillating and the cam is rotating. So rotating, oscillating, rotating, sliding. Yeah, these are all different, right? So see, seventh is the cam is rotating, the follower is sliding. Here, eighth one, the cam is rotating, the follower is oscillating. So this is also cylindrical cam, but motion is different, right? So I told you now what is happening in seventh and eighth. The seventh and eighth arrangement, motion of follower. This is an important point, so let me write it down. The motion of follower is in the plane that contains the axis of cam's rotation. That we have so many number of possibilities. I hope that you enjoyed the session. There are so many number of possibilities. Just check these possibilities which we have seen from the beginning. Okay, in the coming classes, we'll continue with the further analysis. Okay, friends, thank you. Bye.